What's good, everybody? It's your boy Brees, and you're now tuned in to the hottest platform for all the upcoming entrepreneurs, business professionals, entertainers, and creatives around the city. So today, home team, Royal Connections, you know how that go.
Yes,
We
sir.
got Billionaire Boone in the building,
Yes,
and
sir.
we're just gonna speak about all the stuff we didn't speak about Royal Connections, right? And speak of which, you're actually the next guest for this next episode, right? So
For Real Connections,
I
yeah,
said event,
facts, for sure.
yeah, event.
Yeah,
I got
pop
tongue
out.
twisted.
Well, this is gonna be out after, but like if you haven't popped out,
That's a fact.
yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Because it's 420 today. The next event, that's next week, right?
the 28th, I believe.
28th,
Yeah, for sure.
So 20. Oh, yes, he did say it's
It's
going to be a Sunday
Sunday.
this
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
facts. It's good though.
Because
I
he
got
said he
something on
doesn't like
Saturday.
Sundays.
He doesn't like Saturdays.
Yeah, he does. No, he
He
said
doesn't like
it's
Sundays.
yeah, he said it's harder to get Sundays.
People in church, Sunday cleaning.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And not even that, but it's just like, I guess the way the spot is set up,
Okay.
he said like Sundays aren't really good days to use that spot. I guess because probably too many people coming for brunch or something
That's
like
fire.
that.
Come on, there's more people to network with.
It is, but it's like he always had conflict. Like he was telling me, like, sometimes there'll be people that's complaining, like, oh, like, I came here for brunch. Like, when are y'all gonna?
Bro. Yeah,
I mean, but that's some hating shit.
yeah,
You feel me? Like,
it is. Tell them to go get a bag.
Yeah,
Go start a
honestly.
business or something.
Yeah, but nonetheless, though, you feel me? The backstory, Road Connections. I met Boone.
Yes, sir.
Boone came up to me and said, "Yo, I've been reaching out to y'all for a minute." I was just like, "Yeah, apologies. There's been a lot going on these past couple months. Trust me, you're not the only one. It's been people that got up here today and they were supposed to be here 3, 4, 5 months ago. So,
Right.
It's not personal. It's just we got a lot going on,
It
right?
happens, yeah.
Yeah. So, Billionaire Boone.
Yeah, so
Tell us about the name, man. Billionaire Boone. I like that.
honestly, I thank you for that. I appreciate the name. A lot of people would tell me that they're fond of the Instagram name. It just rolls off the tongue, right? Like I don't care to be a billionaire. If it happens by God's grace, then it happens. I want to impact the world. I want to change the trajectory of a bunch of things, and I'll speak about that a
Right,
little.
just bring the mic just a little bit.
Okay, yeah,
That's
no
good?
doubt.
Yeah.
I want to change the trajectory of a lot of things, and we'll speak about that a little bit later. But billionaire Boone, I feel is rolls off the tongue. And then like I just so happen to be in finance, so I think it just makes a lot of sense. But yeah, thank you for that, brother.
Yeah. So you're a financial advisor, right?
I run a financial planning practice, yes.
Okay.
Legally, I am in the process of becoming a financial advisor. There's a little more certifications I have to go through. I'll be a financial advisor for sure by the end of the summer, though.
So-
I legally can't say it. I'm a financial advisor
Mm-hmm.
up until I actually pass those certifications. But I
Yeah.
do everything your financial advisor does, for sure.
Yeah. So for this episode, y'all don't take anything we say literal.
No, I actually have a
This is
disclaimer
not.
for
This is
everybody.
not. This is not legal advice.
No,
We're not
not at
giving you
all.
advice either.
No.
So don't try to quote us and nothing. Making that disclaimer now, so nobody does something and
Yep.
try to say, we
Yep.
told them to do it.
I agree. So actually, let me pull that disclaimer up because I am going to give some good game, or at least my attempt is to get some good game. But I also need to cover my back end. So disclaimer, the information provided here is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Your financial situation is unique, and any investment decisions you make should be based on your risk tolerance, investment goals, and other personal circumstances. I recommend consulting with a qualified financial advisor before making any financial decisions. Lucky for you guys, I run a financial planning practice. I can help you with those financial decisions. Brees, let's start the podcast.
Yeah.
Man.
No, you just put up like you a lawyer or something.
Yeah.
And you got the shades on, like.
Yeah, I'm gonna change
Yeah,
them
that's
all a little
crazy.
bit, yeah.
I gotta take a second for that. That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So let's do
He
it.
switched. It's like Mr. Rogers where he used to change his shoes in the middle of the episode. Like, no, no, but yeah. So, what's the backstory? Like, what got you into everything that you do right now?
So I got to start from when I was 17 years old. So first off, I want to introduce myself a little bit. So my Instagram tag is billionaireboone. That's billionaire BOONE. My first and last name is DaQwan Boone. I run a financial planning practice with Northwestern Mutual. I am father of Naya, Madison Boone, father of Noah, Ronnie Boone, my two beautiful children that I love and I thank God dearly for blessing them into my life. Son of Marvin Boone and son of Nicole Barnhardt. I am the eldest of 6. And what got me into this was I had plans to make the NFL out of high school. I felt like I was a very good athlete. Ran a 4.5 coming out of high school, had no type of structure, no type of discipline.
Where'd you play at?
I played at Sheepshead Bay High School.
Oh yeah, that's
fact.
pretty tough.
It was all right. We weren't that good, but I was
They're
pretty
tough
good.
now though. I be seeing them in the.
I hope we are. I haven't been following, but so I actually had my daughter Naya when I was 17, And I just knew I was making it to the NFL, right? Nothing could tell me, nobody could tell me anything. I knew I was good enough to make the NFL. I get redshirted my freshman year of college. It was absolutely devastating for me. It was the first time I've actually got like punched in the mouth, so to speak, with life. And I gave up, I quit, I dropped out of school. I ended up enlisting into the military at the age of 18.
Where'd you play at? Well, redshirt at?
Or Hudson Valley Community College.
Okay.
So I actually was in speaks with Monmouth. Yeah,
Oh,
Monmouth, the D1 AA school, in
my
Jersey.
friend played. Well,
And then
we're not
Cheney.
friends no more, but
Cheney University really wanted me. I was going to commit to Cheney, but Cheney didn't have any scholarship.
I actually had a cousin that went there.
You went to Cheney?
Yeah,
I know a
long
couple
time.
of people that went
she's
there.
old. Like,
Okay.
yeah, she got full ride there.
But it was an HBCU. It's an HBCU.
It's a HBCU,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's an
It's just
HBCU.
a small school, though,
It is a
that's
very
why.
small school.
So
Their
people don't give
football
it credit
program
like
actually
that.
got like closed down not too long ago.
Oh wow.
Word. So I was supposed to go to Cheney, but they didn't have any scholarship money due to like some illegal thing they did with the NCAA. So I was speaking with Coach Rule at the time. Coach Rule really liked me, but they didn't have any scholarship dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Monmouth liked me a lot. I didn't have the grades, and I got into the recruitment cycle a little bit late. The plan was for me to go to Hudson Valley for a year and then transfer to Monmouth, play D1 ball.
Mhm.
Anyways, none of that worked out. I had a call from my girlfriend at the time, the mother of my children, that my daughter and I needed Pampers and I couldn't afford them. I was working at Cold Stone at the time, still trying to make the NFL work while going to school. And I remember saying something has to change. So I enlisted into the military. I wanted to do finance. I didn't score high enough on my ASVAB, so I got thrown in. So I chose human resources, 42 Alpha, stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and everything happens for a reason. I was actually in charge of the finances for my battalion while I was there, if that made sense. So if somebody had overpay, if somebody had underpay, somebody wasn't paid at all, somebody got married, anything dealing with finances, I was handling at the age of like 18, 19, for like 800 to 850 soldiers at a time.
Jeez.
And it was a lot of responsibility at that age. Gave me a lot of experience in handling people, right? People aren't mad at me, they're mad at the situation. So, and then in the military, it's a little bit different, right? Because if somebody can curse at you, they can yell at you, and you just got to eat it just because they're higher ranked than you. I eventually got out of the military, and I wanted to do real estate. So my thing was I was always going to be in the NFL, and I was like, yo, I'm never going to spend any of the money I make in the NFL. I'm going to just be a realtor. I'm going to rent and sell homes to all my celebrity clients, right? Because I'm in the NFL, I'm tapped in. That's just easy bread. That's how I'm thinking, right? At like 16, I'm thinking like this. Got into real estate. I was working with City Habitats at like 20, 21. Yeah, I was working with City Habitats. It lasted about 3 months because I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
Started waiting tables. Pandemic happened, so I moved to North Carolina. Figure everything out. New York was shut down, and I was like, yo, I need to like figure something out for myself. Waited tables out there. I got into selling cars. My father has been in the car business my whole life. He is very successful in the car business, and I give my dad a lot of credit because I wouldn't be the influencer that I am if I didn't see him influence, and if he didn't have that in him. He's an all-time great. I remember we worked together for a little bit. I'm going to go off a tangent a bit, but we worked together for a little bit last year, and I remember this dude came in for a car for about like $21,000, $22,000. He had cash, right? So it's not like he's financing. Like he has a hard limit on what he wants to buy. And I remember like the car that he came in, the car was sold. I'm like, what the hell? Like, all right, so now I know I could bump him up $2,000, $3,000. But like my managers want me to bump him like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on a cash buyer, bro. That's like that's tough in the car industry, right? If you're financing it, you can like finagle it a certain way. Anyways, I'm working with my dad at the time. My dad's like, do this, do that. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, just listen to me, I got you. I'm like, all right, cool. An hour later, I'm like, yo, Dad, what's going on? He's like, he already bought. He said he already bought it. He's only to finance right now. I'm like, what cash? He bumped him up $7,000, $8,000 on the car on a cash buyer, and it's a Nissan, bro. He could have went to any other Nissan dealership in the world, but somehow my dad was able to get that out of him. And I got to give him a lot of credit to what I do and the way I influence because it comes natural through him. So gonna go back to I was selling cars in North Carolina. Pretty cool.
So not to cut you off, but like, would you say growing up as a kid, like seeing your dad like do so well in sales, like did that ever inspire you to actually think? Because I know, yes, your mind was fixated on the NFL, but did you ever like have a thought in the back of your head that I could also do sales too?
I wanted to be a car salesman too. Like before I wanted to make the NFL, I wanted to be a cop. Then the Sean Bell incident happened when the cops lit him up on his like bachelor night, and I was like, I'm never gonna be a police officer. So I remember telling my mom I want to be a car salesman because Dad's a car salesman. I thought he was a car salesman. He was a manager.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's like, you're not gonna sell no cars. I'm like, okay. And then after that, it just killed it. Later on in life, Mom was like, hey, you should think about selling cars. I'm like 10, 11 years old, you told me not to sell cars. Now you're telling me to sell cars? Okay, whatever. But I say that to say my mom does support me, but yeah, for sure. I definitely seen that through him, and I wanted to be just like my dad. I still do in some ways.
West Indian?
No, but
Okay.
you do hear an
I
accent?
would say no, because
Okay.
I'm just saying, that's the mindset with the parents.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I
Nah,
thought.
Black American. My mom just wanted more stability for me. She wanted me to go to school, get a degree, things of that nature. I dropped out of school 3 times, by the way, and I'm in the field that I'm in.
I mean, but that's the beauty of it, though, because
Yeah.
it's like a lot of stuff that they teach you in school or they don't teach you in school is the stuff that gets applied to like these professions, anyways.
100%, right? And like, I am in a field where I have to sell, so you don't need a degree for it, right?
Right.
Like,
They don't teach you this stuff.
They don't. A lot of it is
They'll teach you the
hands-on,
logistics
hands-on.
behind it.
100%. But like actually doing it, you got to go out and do it. You got to go put your foot in the water. You got to scrape your knee. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, you're just gonna be, okay, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? You got to take every experience and learn from it. Like in this aspect in sales, but like in all aspects of life too.
Yeah, because even for me too, it's like I was a finance major in college.
Okay, fine.
And I was having a conversation with my friends. He went to Baruch. He dropped out after the first semester.
Okay.
He was just saying, he used to give me the college is a scam speech, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was just saying, like, what course are you taking right now? I'm telling him, he's like, well, the course I took was asset allocation. So he's like, so you're taking a course to tell you where you should put your money in? Like, don't you think you should know that for yourself?
It's a little bit deeper than that.
Don't get me. Yeah, the course was deeper than that, but it's like I understood where he was coming from saying that.
Yeah.
Because now I'm with a financial advisor who was just telling me, he dropped out.
Right.
And it's like this the same financial advisor that if he tells me, do asset allocation and put my money here,
Yeah.
I'm gonna automatically listen to. So
free game for anybody.
I feel my friend on that.
So I do want to say this is free game for anybody right now. This is a really cool time to stock up on precious metals. So I feel
metals.
Right? Precious metals,
Hell
gold,
yeah.
silver, platinum.
You see, you've been knowing.
Gold is about like 24, it's like 2,400 right now, so all time high. But silver,
24,
2,400 is all time high.
That's how I looked at gold. I bought it at 1,700. Like I took a trade.
Fire.
1780. I got out like 19 something.
Fire.
Damn, bro, 24. I'll be rich right now.
Like silver and gold it's God's money, bro. Right? So like everybody want to talk about crypto and all that. And like crypto's not regulated, so I can't speak on it legally. But I still don't believe in crypto. Like people's like, oh, Bitcoin this, Bitcoin is that. I believe in it to an extent.
You have to see the episode I did with Tim Trades.
Okay, I got you.
Watch that one, and you might change your opinion.
I got you. Okay, I think it's made up money though, Pop. Tell me it's not.
That is.
It's made up money, right? So
you said made up.
It's made up money.
What's it?
It's 50, made up 50, money.
50-50.
Right?
I see where you're going.
The dollar's made up money too. At least the dollar is backed by gold up until like the mid 1990s, 1960s, 1970s, 1950s, something like that. Whenever we got off the gold reserve, but the dollar is now, it's made up money too, don't get me wrong, but like I can at least I can pull out some money, some cash in my bank. I can't pull out a Bitcoin.
We gotta jump into that though, because you know exactly what I'm about to say too, because we spoke about that yesterday. But also too has to do with the scarcity of it too.
Scarcity of what?
Like coins?
Scarcity of like crypto? Coins?
No, I'm saying going back to what you said about metals.
Yes.
Like there's scarcity behind like actual like.
I also believe that silver is suppressed though. I believe the price, the actual value of silver is suppressed. Silver is trading at like $26 right now. Let me check. No, it's like 28.
Yeah, you told me.
Right, I was buying it at like $17, bro.
Yeah, it's 420 right now. I ain't traded since like November, bro.
Right, but like you can use like atmex.com. APMEX.com to purchase your silver bullion, they call it. Silver bullion. Your precious metals or just bullion in general. So like silver spot price for silver.
Like American Express?
APMEX. And do your own research before you make any type of financial decisions or just have a conversation with me. And I can put you onto a little more game. But I'm about to look at the silver index.
You said
silver is at 2866, right?
APMEX, right?
APMEX. Silver is at 2866. I have it breaking a bull flag on the weekly, like currently as we're doing this podcast. Silver all-time high is, where is it at? About 49 and
You
change.
said a bull flag, or you doing technicals right now?
Technicals, right? But like also you
Oh
gotta
man,
understand what's going on
if
in
we
the
doing
world,
technicals,
right?
I'm about to get my trading view up right now. Hold on.
Go to XAG USD, you'll see it, bro. Right?
Yes,
So
XAG. Yes.
I think silver has a ton of upside. Personally, listen, at $26, listen, you talk to your financial advisor about it, right? Or have a conversation with me about it. But I'm personally looking to buy some more silver. Also, there are apps like One Gold that you can use to purchase it digitally. But if you don't hold the
it's definitely
asset, I don't
bullish.
think you own the asset.
Looks like it.
But like for sure, if you got, you could do 1 ounce of silver a week. I don't know. I think that you could set yourself up 20, 30 years from now. I know it sounds like a long time, but I plan to be here 20, 30 years from now. So
Yeah, next 2 years, I can see us taking that all-time high, $50.
especially with everything that's going on, Pop,
It's 50 the all-time high. I'm bugging.
it's about 50.
Yeah,
It's
you can
about
take
50.
that, bro. I'm looking at it right now.
All right. So, I mean, right there, like, again, this is free game for anybody. This
And what was it?
conversation costs
32,
you
I
nothing.
think. How much was it? 28.
28.66 is where it's at right now.
Listen, for all my traders out there, you know, silver pays more than gold on these platforms, on these brokers.
And I think, like,
So might be the
bro,
move.
let's say like it gets to the all-time high. That's almost doubling your investment, Pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, gold is at its all-time high already. Gold can go anywhere, but like if I can double my bread in like a course of 10, 20 years, I'm gonna do it. It don't sound sexy for a lot of people, right? Because a lot of people sell this idea of getting rich quick, but they can't tell you how to duplicate it. You know what I'm saying? Like if it happens every now and then, don't get me wrong, but I look at what works for me. I look at what's worked for people in the past, and like things like putting your money in silver, things like putting your money in real estate, the stock market, things of that nature. I feel, in my opinion, that if you're willing to be patient and disciplined for long enough, you'll be able to yield some really good results.
So how do you feel about like investment accounts like Roth IRAs and stuff like that?
Oh, I'm a huge believer in Roth IRAs, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm actually working with a couple of people right now in their mid-40s who haven't started saving for retirement. And the one thing they tell me is, I wish
I knew this when I was younger. People always tell me this all the time.
Every time. And then I speak to people around our age group and they don't want to hear anything about it. Oh, it's my business is going to take
But you see,
off.
this is what this podcast is about, though.
Yes,
We're
for
bridging that gap where it's
For
like,
sure.
okay, the people that think it's too late could find easy game like this from either us or our guests.
For sure.
And then the people that's younger, they could watch this and say, hey, this is the kind of stuff I want to take
100%.
going forward. Like, because like I said in the episode, Meeks, I know you sat in on the episode.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people that, they have these platforms. They want to talk about the same stuff all the time. And it sounds repetitive.
Yes, it
like
does.
I said, right? I made that joke. You was laughing. People go on the internet, Google, whatever, and then they come in and spit it on the mic and think,
That's it.
they're just going to go viral because they sound smart, right?
Exactly.
Quote unquote smart.
Exactly.
But it's like, having different guests and not even just that, but having the knowledge of ourselves, from my experience, through schooling my own businesses, through Mike's ventures, through schooling businesses, Lanaya's ventures, through schooling businesses. We all kind of bring that, we have different flavors in terms of the information that we could provide, as well as our guests too, and not even just the information, but the experience as well.
Yes.
Doing certain things.
Yes.
So yeah.
So you 100% right on that. I do want to talk about this IRAs for a second because listen, IRA can be one part of your portfolio, right? When I'm 60, if you're gonna tell me I'm gonna have $1 million at 60, I'm taking it. If you tell me I'm gonna have $500,000 at 60, I'm taking it. What do I have to do now to get there, right? Listen, I'm gonna have another bag. I'm gonna have other bags in different places, right? This is just another type of asset that I'll have. So maybe I take $1 million when I'm 60. Maybe I want to buy some commercial real estate, right?
And I feel like in this generation, we're not like the old generation. Like people think you're 60, you don't know how to use a computer. We're gonna know how to use computers. And that's the thing. Technology is evolving in our face to where we're always gonna be in tune. Like I'll be impressed when I see people that's 60 right now that know how to use a computer. But I'm just like, when I'm 60, I'm definitely gonna know how to do all this stuff.
Right, but you also gotta understand they didn't have anything like this when they were our age. So now all of a sudden, like imagine in 40 years, like we don't have any of this, but we're 60 years old and this gets dropped in front of our faces. It's alien to all of us, right? I think we've grown. We have the opportunity to grow up in a time to where technology is evolving, especially with artificial intelligence. Like the coolest thing about what's going on with artificial intelligence right now is that we are of the age to where we can capitalize on it. We're not too young, but like in 2008, we're like, housing prices were down, right? Or the stock market tanked, and we could have just bought a lot of assets. We didn't know anything about anything. We were like in like grade school.
And we didn't, and that's the thing too. Like the people that had the opportunity, we didn't
They
care.
didn't, right? But like a lot of them
Because we didn't have
know.
like short, simple reels on Instagram now to tell
Exactly.
us in 60 seconds why we should buy this, as opposed to going and buying like a course or doing like something. I don't know.
Bro.
Like that's I guess harder to understand.
For sure. And then like we are like the first generation to like really have the opportunity to like capitalize on all of this, right? Like you got a lot of old people who don't understand older people who don't understand artificial intelligence, and they don't care to, and they're just gonna, what I'm saying, let it pass them. Young people can't take the opportunity to use it. I'm utilizing it in my business now, right? If I have to create a proposal for something, if I have to create a workshop for something, personally, I use Google Gemini.
There's Jasper too. I like Jasper.
Jasper? What's Jasper? I never heard of that.
It's another AI. It's the same thing. Just types prompts for you.
Cool. ChatGPT is cool. I do use Google Gemini. I think it's absolutely wonderful. But like, things like that.
But it's actually funny that we even speak on that too, because I didn't even notice. But like, did you know like these AI prompt guys, they're getting paid like
they're killing it.
$400K
like and
salaries.
Yes, and
because they're doing the job of 10 to 15 people as just one person, one
like
entity.
Prompt engineering, fire. Like everyone's like, oh, AI is going to take jobs. AI is going to take this. AI is going to replace that. I think AI is going to replace jobs, right? If you're unwilling to learn a skill and you haven't done anything like really with your professional life since you've graduated
But technology is always going to glitch though.
What do you mean?
Like, that's the thing. Computer is only as smart as the person
100%.
As the person that made it, yeah.
100%.
Right? Because it's like there's gonna be times where you're gonna have system overloads. You're gonna have issues where you might need something that, like, think about even the simplest thing is going to the supermarket. You go to the what do you call it, the self checkout.
Okay.
There's gonna be times you scan something, there's an error. Now you're gonna need that person to come and manually do it.
Exactly.
The AI can't always do that.
Right. So I do want to just talk about a couple. I do want to mention that I do run a holistic financial planning practice. I assist families with every aspect of their financial plan. This includes budgeting, finding the right insurance, whether it be health, disability, or life insurance, investing, retirement planning, and anything that you can think of. So if you are listening to this podcast, if you are watching this podcast, I would love to help you out in any type of way. All consultations are at no cost to you. I'm not looking to sell you anything. You may be wondering, well, how do you get paid? I get paid if you choose to make an investment with me or invest into a product with me. However, it still doesn't make sense for everybody to invest into anything. Again, that's after our initial conversation. I'll know what may make sense for you. But for sure, I would love to help anybody out who wants that extra step in their life. I do just want to have that segue in there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you too. So going back to when we had that laugh, and I said, I'm laughing. So it was something I mentioned to you earlier, right? When we spoke through text message.
Yeah.
It was about understanding like why people don't choose to put money into the banks. Because you said you're a avid believer in not putting money into the banks. Why is that?
So I'm not an avid believer of putting money into the bank. I'm an avid believer of making your money work for itself. So my money is in a high yield savings account. I have a brokerage account. I have life insurance, and I have a retirement account that I invest into.
Same.
I do have money, cash on hand, if anything were to happen. I'll pull it out. Here you go. So I'm not pulling from my investments or anything that I'm invested into. But I mean, I don't know. I'm like, I want to invest. Right? So like I'm 26, I take advantage of every opportunity that I do have. Instead of having a couple $1,000s in my bank account, not doing anything for me, gaining 0.01%, 0.02%, whatever your bank is giving you, make it work for you. Right? And letting the compound effect take over. And I know it's delayed gratification. It doesn't sound sexy because on social media, everyone has this concept of, oh, what happened overnight? Or just trying to show you that they're flawless. And I'm like, no, that's not the case, right? Like
I guess risk adversity too. Some people are scared.
100%, yes. I agree with that 100%. Like a lot of people are scared, but a lot of people are scared because they don't actually know. Well, like if I told you that over time, the S&P 500 has gotten you 10% annually on your investment, that's a wonderful investment. If I can make 10% a year on anything, I'm going to keep investing to it, and I'll look up and I'll be like, oh snap, I'm good, right?
Thing is, people don't look at percentages. They look
People
at
do
so
not
much
look at
dollar
percentages.
amounts.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you tell them 10%, you know, they're scared. They won't put $100. Like, oh, it's just $10.
$10, right? Okay, but
it's like, okay, look at the people that's invested 100K.
Exactly. And if you have $1 million, it's 100,000, right? So then your next goal would be to, okay, how do I get to $1 million as quick as possible? So that 10% yields me 100,000. Like, it's literally just changing the framework. I had this conversation with somebody the other day. I'm like, oh, Apple's only going up like $30-$40 in like X amount of years. I'm like, bro, that's like 20-30%. What are you talking
Depending
about?
on how much you have.
Depending on how much you have, like 20-30%. Like, I don't know about you.
Especially me being a trader, it's like, I'm watching guys do 1 to 5% rewards. You know, I'm watching people make 20% daily, weekly, monthly. You know, as opposed to like these big Wolf of Wall Street guys who brag about 20% on an annual basis.
You're lying with that though.
The thing is, it's just like if you see people do this like as frequent as a week or a month, that should excite you. But
100%.
it doesn't though. That's
100%.
what really blows my mind. It's like people are so ignorant to it. Because again, they look at the dollar amount. They don't look at the significance of what they do.
Especially our people.
The percentages.
Especially our people. Running a financial planning practice, my ultimate goal is to assist in the current changing of the trajectory for Black people financially. Right.
Yeah,
so
I could say it's the same with this podcast as well. I mean,
and I
not necessarily just for Black people, but you know, I would say more for the youth as opposed to just the ethnic group.
Okay. And for everybody, right? So like, I want everybody to win. Like, I do want to preface this by saying that, but there's a huge wealth gap currently happening. If you would be so kind, I would love to expound on it just a little bit more.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So I do have some data to back up my facts, and this data is from the St. Louis Federal Reserve as of 2023.
I give you a lot of credit. You came here with facts. People just kind of speak off experience. You actually come with data that
this is
relatable.
I love what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can snap my fingers or what was perfect, what would I do? I'd be doing the same thing I'm doing now. So I do want to say again, like I want everybody to win. This is not an us versus them conversation. This is just me pointing out facts and spreading awareness so we could change our situations. So from facts from the St. Louis Federal Reserve 2023, Black families own about 24 cents for every $1 that a white family may own on average. In September 2023, according to Forbes, the average Black household owned $24,000 in liquid assets. It's money market accounts, checking accounts, savings accounts, anything that you can pull out immediately, where the average white family had $167,000. Now, I say a lot to say that a lot of it isn't our fault. Right, we had, what is it called? Redlining. We've had the war on drugs. We've had a lot of things in our way, but nonetheless, we still are in our way. So a lot of what I do is initiating the conversation. You know, this is what I do. You know, I help people out budgeting, retirement planning, X, Y, and Z. But my main thing is I want to see exactly how the finances look. It's like a doctor almost, right? They're gonna check your vitals. And then they're gonna tell you, okay, you should do X, Y, and Z to achieve these results. It's the same thing, right? So if somebody tells me, well, DaQwan, I want to retire at age 40, okay, that's an aggressive goal. How are we getting there? Because the average retirement age is about 70 years old. So if you're telling me you want to almost cut it in half,
how do we do that?
How do we do that? And how does it look?
And a lot of people, instead of asking how do we do that, they just think, oh, it's impossible.
A lot of people either think it's impossible or they just feel like they're gonna have a business that explodes and they'll get there, but like you have less than a 10% chance.
But you know what it is? The fact that people actually seen it though.
What do you mean?
Like even for example for cryptos, right? Like we had my guest Alejandro up here, him and his wife Maria, they came up here from Indiana. These are people that I knew from way back, right? Well, I didn't know Maria, but I knew Alejandro.
Right.
So Alejandro, I knew him because like he used to like he was a chef at the school.
Okay.
For me, and like he got into me when I started the Forex stuff, where I was in the MLM business and stuff like that. And then he branched down to crypto, and him and his wife made $2.8 million.
That's nice.
Off of just like what was it? I think it was like a $40 investment. They just kept reallocating their money into all these coins to where it's like boom, 2.8 mil.
Okay.
The reception we got was very negative on like social media.
About
people just saying, "Oh, it's cap, it's not real, it's this, it's that." But I'm just like, I'm literally witnessing what they're doing behind the scenes in terms of all the other investments they're making. And on top of it too, I've seen it.
Right.
Like at one point, they were telling me, "Oh, bro, please don't mention this to nobody. We don't want no problems. This, that, and the third." But now it's like because it's whatever to them.
Right.
That's why they even said it on camera.
Okay.
But that's the thing. You know, when people see stuff like that, they're just like, damn, if that person could do it, I could do it too. So that's kind of where that belief comes in, where people, like you said, they think they're just gonna do it overnight.
And it's not gonna happen. It's gonna take a lot of time. It's gonna take a lot of sacrifice. It's gonna take a lot of discipline, right? And it's gonna take a lot of being uncomfortable. But I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta be uncomfortable. Always. You know what I mean? So if you're not uncomfortable, you're just gonna like peak at a certain level in life, and you're just gonna like live the rest of your life floating by.
If you think about it too, right? Elimination games in the playoffs and stuff like that.
Right.
You always see your favorite player drop the craziest stat line. They will never do it for you any other time, but it's like when their back is against the wall, they got to face adversity, they could do it.
And like lighting that fire under your butt, right? So like I do want to say a couple things too about that leading into this next topic I want to talk about. So there's currently a changing of trajectory that's going on, right? According to the Wall Street Journal, as of 2023, 40% of Black Americans were invested into the stock market. Although I love that stat, what I do want to say is that, guys, we need to make sure that we are for sure mitigating our risk, right? So that's not putting all of our money into that's not putting every single dime we have into the stock market, because Nvidia's up 3,000% over the course of a couple of years, right? Because the market's gonna pull back, and you don't want to pull from a losing portfolio, right? I bought AMD at like 160. AMD's like 140 right now, right?
Which one?
AMD's like 140 right now. 140.
AMD?
Let me see.
What's that one?
AMD is a.
I thought you meant AMC, like the
No, I only invested.
I was in AMC like when it was at like $5, and it went up. I woke up, I was like, whoa, we going outside tonight. Hold on.
So like I started investing into AMD at like 160. AMD is at 146 right now.
So what is that exactly, AMD?
AMD, so it's Advanced Metro Dynamics. That's just me
asking personally.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's Advanced Metro Dynamics.
Okay.
Microdynamics, excuse me. They are a chip-making company for artificial intelligence. Their direct competitor is NVIDIA, right? A lot of people, like AMD has contracts with a bunch of big name companies.
I would assume Apple or for
I would have to double check
Microsoft.
That. I would have to double check that for sure.
Okay.
But I do know they're playing with blue chip players. I invested to them because it just made sense dollar cost wise to invest into them instead of NVIDIA. NVIDIA is, I think, way too oversold. So anyways, I say all that to say that I don't need to withdraw any of my money, right? Now let's say a dire situation happened right now and I needed to withdraw some money out of my account. My 160 was at one point 227. It's now at 146, right? If I need to take out of that, I'm taking out of a losing account. That makes no sense. Now I'm expediting my losses because it's unrealized gains or losses. You know what I'm saying? It's unrealized. So at this point, if I don't have something liquid to pull out of, and I preface everything, I want to say everything by saying, guys, if you do not have at least $1,000, at least $2,000, at least 1 month of security savings, depending on your financial situation, you should not be investing.
I usually hear and I usually tell people 6 months.
6 months is great. I understand a lot of people mindset. And honestly, like if I'm being completely honest, I'm a 26-year-old Black male who grew up in Brooklyn, New York. A lot of us ain't waiting 6 months for 6 months. Right?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I did.
You know, and that's
I experimented myself. You feel me?
As you should, but like at least $1,000, $1,500. So if something comes up, you don't have to pull out of a losing account and replenish that emergency savings immediately.
Of
right?
course.
But you want to invest into blue chip companies that you know about. Well, I can't give too much information because I am in a regulated industry. But you know, if you don't mind, I'm actually gonna like break down how I go about investing into a company. So like my favorite company right now is Apple.
Okay.
I have an iPhone. You have an iPhone. Ross has an iPhone. Most people have iPhones. iPhones are all around the world. People have iPhones. People had iPods. They're not here anymore, right? But people have Apple Watches. People have AirPods. People have iPads. Macs. Exactly, right? Oh, that's an HP. It looks like an HP.
Oh, I'm bugging.
It looks like a Mac.
Well, we forgot to put the thing on. No, we have the keyboard though. Yeah,
you definitely have an Apple keyboard.
Apple keyboard.
What I'm saying is Apple has sticky clients.
Put the logo up here.
Right? Apple is in almost every household in America. Amazon is in almost every household in America, right? So like big names like that, that's what I invest my money into personally, right? It makes no sense to invest into some company I never heard about. Or if I've literally done this experience. Hey guys, how many of you have shopped on Amazon before. Everybody hands goes up, no matter how big the room is. Okay, Amazon may be a good company to invest into.
So I guess it's safe to say you're not a meme coin type of guy.
No, not at all.
No, trust me, I agree
Not
with
at
you there,
So,
100%.
I'm gonna use Amazon as a
Quick
example.
pump and dump though, you feel me? But
You could do the pump and dump, right? But then like you gotta pay taxes on it, like about 50% depending on where you are.
50?
Is it 50%?
No, it
For
gotta be
cryptos,
38, bro.
Cryptos is like 50%.
Gotta be 38, bro. 50?
That's 30.
I gotta look into that.
And listen, I could be wrong.
Listen, I would love to keep that 12%. Because corporate bonuses already, they taking like 40.
But so you're taxed out the wazoo for like quick gains. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, I'm like, nah, like if I make $100, I gotta pay 38% of that, 50% of that. Nah, bro. I'd rather just keep it long term. You know what I'm saying? And like it's a safer play. Yeah. I'm not too risky if that makes sense. So I do want to break down like Amazon's financials, right? Because it's like, oh, the stock market's risky, things of that nature. And yes, it is. But this is how I go about investing into a company. Take what you would like, and definitely, use this to your advantage. Okay. So I personally, I go on Yahoo Finance. I do a couple of things. So like, let's say a company like Amazon, as of right now, it's trading at 174. I'm gonna look at a couple of things. I'm gonna look at the financials first, and tell me if this is a good company or not.
No, it is a good company.
Just listen to the financials first. Okay. Gross profit in 2023, $93 billion.
Of course.
In 2022, it was $67 billion. In 2021, it was $66 billion.
So it basically jumped like half.
In 2020, it was $51 billion. So in 4 years, the company went from $51 million in gross profit to $93 billion in gross profit. Yeah, that is a fire company to invest into. For me to lose all my money in Amazon, Amazon has to literally go extinct. That's not happening anytime soon.
You only look at annual returns, or are you looking at like quarterlies?
So I'm looking at quarterlies if I need more confluence, if that makes sense. But everybody has Amazon, so I'm not going to waste that much time on Amazon because I know Amazon's going to be here forever. And I feel that 173, personally, again, do your own research. I think that's a good price on Amazon. But then I'll go to the holders. Again, on Yahoo Finance, I'm going to look at who's holding it. I want to see 2 or 3 names. I want to see State Street. I want to see Vanguard. I want to see BlackRock.
Vanguard, definitely.
I want to see how much money these big institutions are holding because they control the world we live in. And I want to see how much risk they have in it. Okay. Right? So if I look at Vanguard as a holder, Vanguard has $134 billion tied to Amazon. Do you think they're letting Amazon go anywhere anytime soon?
Hell no.
BlackRock has $109 billion tied to Amazon. Do you think they're letting Amazon go anytime
Absolutely
soon?
Not.
This is how you know you to invest in certain companies. It's not hard at all. All right, you take some time, you learn technical analysis, you learn proper times to buy, proper times to sell if you like to sell. I don't care to sell.
Fundamental as well.
You see what I'm saying? You tighten its fundamentals. Yo, you don't need a bunch of companies, Pop. Take $1,000 and start dollar cost averaging. I'm starting a dollar cost average off of a conversation I had with a friend a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, yo, that makes a lot of sense.
I haven't heard somebody say dollar cost average since my senior year.
It makes a lot of sense though, but you choose a couple of companies.
Crazy. Like,
you know what I'm saying? You choose like, again, I got a couple of companies in my portfolio. My 2 favorite are honestly going to be Amazon and Apple because I don't know anybody who hasn't used Amazon. Most people I come in contact use Apple. And then just like do your thing. You got to, again, invest with money that you can afford to lose.
So it's funny too. I haven't heard you say Tesla. Usually Tesla's like the first.
I have not been on Tesla's bandwagon ever. I think it was overvalued when it was at its all-time high before its peak, before it split. They just make cars, bro. And it's the EV industry. Yeah, it's a thing, but like there's no infrastructure, right? And then like, okay, outside of making cars, what do? Elon Musk is just a figurehead, and that's the only reson why the stock was ever that high, in my opinion.
Look at Doge, right?
Look at Doge, exactly. Like, so it's like, no way, no. I probably would consider buying Tesla because it's at such a sweet point right now. 140, 120. It's at like one of those like mid to low 100 areas. So like now I'm like, all right, cool, I may buy it. But like it was a couple $1,000s a couple years ago. And I'm telling everybody, absolutely not. I'm not doing it. Do what you want. I know somebody who just dollar cost averaged into Tesla. Their portfolio is absolutely terrible right now. Also, again, talk to a financial advisor about this, right? But personally, I spread out my risk in different sectors. Okay. So I may earn a little bit of oil. I may earn a little bit of tech. Yeah, I may earn some real estate in the stock market. And like you could divvy that however you want. You can also, with investing into your IRA, you can invest with your IRA into funds and ETFs. You can invest into like the S&P 500 for your Roth IRA. I do want to touch on that because I think we just walked over it. But the cool thing about like the S&P 500 is that you're tied to the top 500 companies in America.
Right.
And you basically, like, they're managing the portfolio, if that makes sense, right? So they're taking companies off, they're putting companies on, they're allocating, they're reallocating a lot of things. And listen, if you want to be on the safer route, again, I have to cover my behind. I will say this again. Do your own research, talk to your own financial advisor about this. However, personally, I am, for my Roth IRA, S&P 500, ETFs, things of that nature, because I don't want to be exposed to so much risk. I think life insurance is pretty cool. I want to touch on that a little bit.
Definitely.
There's two types of life insurance. You have term life insurance, you have whole life insurance. Yep. I think term life insurance has its benefits. I think whole life insurance has its benefits. All of it really depends on what you want to do and your budget. Yeah. Term life insurance is like renting a home.
You got it for a certain amount of years.
You got it for a certain amount of years, and then there's no equity being built in it. You're basically just paying for a death benefit. The whole life insurance, there's some cash value working for you. The cash value takes some time to really accumulate. It's about a 10-year period, 11-year period, depending on your policy. It takes some time. However, the growth is exponential. So if you're willing to be patient, you're willing to be disciplined and wait an extended period of time to have this cash, to have the cash value, be able to pull out. You can put it into real estate if you want. Maybe you could pull out, and maybe the stock market's down 10, 20%. You're like, I want to buy some companies on discount. I'm going to just take out of my whole life insurance policy and, invest into that money. Like, just divvy up my, reallocate, my cash. Right. Because it's going to grow cash value from you. You can do a lot of things with it. Again, talk to somebody about it. And like, if you want to inquire about it, I can definitely have a free consultation about it. Term policies, a reason why you would have a term policy, if you just giving a generalization, is I'm 26 years old. If I wanted a term policy for $50,000 for $500,000, that'd probably cost me about $300 a month. $300 for the year.
$500,000 is kind of hard to get.
$300 for the year, right? If I wanted to do $1 million policy, it's probably like $500-600 for the year, right? The cool thing about that,
most people get like $100-200K for like $50 a month or something.
So it depends on it depends on a multitude of things. So thank you for saying that. It depends on the insurance range you're getting back, right? Which would depends on your age, your health, your gender, what you do for a living. It's a multitude of things that like may influence your rate. But I know for me, it's about for $1 million term policy for the year is about $500-600 for the year. You can always roll that over. You can convert that from that term policy to a whole life policy without having to go through underwriting again. So let's say Brees is 26. How old are you, Brees?
27.
Brees is 27. Brees wants to lock in $1 million policy. Brees wants to lock in his age for $1 million policy, right?
I think mine is $250.
$250 a year, a month.
No, $250,000.
Oh, a quarter million.
Yeah, $250,000.
Life insurance policy. Yeah. So boom. The cool thing about that, if it's a term policy, when Brees is about 40, Brees is not going to be as healthy as he is now. Brees is not going to be as fit as he is now, right? Well, hopefully you are.
Listen, they say black don't crack, right?
Hopefully you are, right? But the general idea is you're at your best shape and your best health while you're young. That's the whole idea. So maybe you want to capitalize on that in your later years in life. You lock in your insurability age, and instead of paying premiums on a 40-year-old, you'd be paying premiums on a 27-year-old, should you want to roll it over at 40 years old. So there's a lot of benefits with the term policy, whole life insurance policy. I can get into and talk about all day. I just want to touch on a couple of topics because I know a lot of people may have this info in the back of their mind.
Yeah. You know what it is too? I feel like, not to cut you off,
no, I
feel like a lot of people actually look at life insurance in a negative way because, again, I feel like it's a trending thing here, right? With financial literacy, MLMs kind of mess it up because people thought Forex was a scam. Right. All the time you got people working on Wall Street trading Forex for a living,
100%,
getting paid $200K a year,
base salary,
traders for base salary to be traders for the banks, right?
The hedge funds,
the hedge funds, everything.
Hedge fund managers.
Then you got life insurance agents,
exactly.
that honestly sell you life insurance, make commission, good money off of it. people think it's a scam because of a company like a Primerica or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Because I always hear Primerica's name. Then you got all these different
It gives it a
industries
bad
in
rap.
financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said financial. In the financial markets that
Mm-hmm.
you know, like
Yeah.
people kind of look at
Yeah.
with a negative connotation.
For sure. And you know what? Like I'm not an insurance agent. Again, I run a financial planning practice. I'm licensed to sell life insurance, but it may not fit for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think life insurance fits for everybody, but a whole life policy may not fit for everybody, right? I'm gonna look at your budget. I'm gonna look at your spending habits. I'm gonna see how much you have saved. I'm gonna see your risk, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a father with children, brother, you got a wife. Maybe you don't got a wife. You got a home, brother. You got to make sure you cover it. If you drop dead right now, what these babies gonna do? What your son gonna do? What your daughter gonna do? Right? I have life insurance as a father because I believe it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
God forbid I drop dead right now. My son, my daughter, they're
Not
gonna want to
covered.
go to college probably. Maybe they don't want to go to college. Maybe they want to start a business, right? I have to leave them something,
Mm-hmm.
right? It gives them a head start on life, and it gives them, I don't know, not as much trauma to deal with. But
yeah, even for me, it's like my aunt. God rest her soul.
Yes, sir.
My aunt passed away. I think it's been 2 years now.
Okay.
And with her, that's the thing, because it's like, yeah, she was like very elderly, and she was also like, not mentally stable like that. So, growing up, she was always like living with us and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom decided to get a policy for her, like last minute.
Mm-hmm.
She ended up passing, like I said, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, passed away.
So here, brother.
We're able to, it sounds weird to say, but it's like we're able to benefit off that.
Nah, it's not.
As opposed to she passes away and there's nothing left behind.
Yes, right? But
this is something that was done last minute, so it's just like
it happens. You know what I mean?
It's crazy to think something like that shows you how quick life is.
Exactly, 100%, bro. And I do want to say something. I don't think it's weird to say. I think I agree with you, bro. I mean, shoot, I'm gonna give you a play right now that I heard from Derek Grace too. I give a lot of credit to when I hear a game, like, yo, if you listen to this right now and you want to find a way to not come up, but you want to find a way to really build some generational wealth, do grandma got life insurance? Do granddad got life insurance? I'm not saying wish from their death, but it's gonna happen. It's inevitable. How much is it gonna cost to get a $250,000 policy, to get a $500,000 policy, to get a $1 million policy, and then team up, partner up, and pay that policy?
And then not even that, but you gotta think about it too, right? Like you just said, grandma, granddad. What are they mainly getting their money off of? Retirement checks.
Exactly.
What are they doing those retirement checks if they sent? Because most of our grandparents, they live without, they live without parents. Parents taking care of them, whatnot. So it's like, well, what are they doing then?
Exactly.
Yeah. So at that point, it's like, well, you could take their money
and you could use it there, or maybe it's 5 siblings. Maybe you got 5 aunts, uncles, or whatever, right? 5 cousins, 5 something, right? If grandma policy for $500 a month, how much is it going to cost for the next 20 years for us to put $100 a month each? Right? And then we divvy up that way. But we're not relying on, we don't want grandma or grandpa to pass away.
No, of course not.
Of course not. But
it's just,
if they could pass away and leave us $250,000, $500,000 to go and invest into something that's going to, you know what I'm saying, yield some results for the rest of our generations, why is that conversation not being had? And like a lot of what I do is like initiating tough conversations. A lot of people don't want to talk about it.
Because it's weird too, because you'll see something like that in the news pop up here and there where it's like somebody might have tried to, it sounds effed up to say, but try to take out their family member for that money.
And yes, and like so, that is like
and,
wild.
And the reason I bring it up is, yes, it's crazy, but to go off of what you're saying, that shows how true it is. Because it's like if somebody would go kill their own family member,
that's crazy.
For that insurance money.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It kind of goes back to the play. This is exactly why people should be covered, because God forbid something happens to your family. Let's say, a car accident or something like that. At least, it sounds, it's really uncomfortable with me to say it like that, but it's like, at least, you got some money coming in, you're covered.
For sure. It's all about, like I said earlier, mitigating risk. For sure. I agree, bro. I don't know. What I'm trying to say.
I feel like I stumped you there. Like, you was
did.
on a roll for more, like damn near an hour.
Just let it.
No, but one thing I was gonna ask you though, in terms of just like, because it's interesting enough, because with what's cooking, it's like, I feel like this episode is really the epitome of like what I wanted. Not the epitome, the epitome of what I wanted. This Actually, is it epitome? Oh damn, I don't know.
Epitome, yeah.
It is epitome, right? Yeah. But this is basically what I wanted this like podcast to be. Like I
Right.
wanted people to come up and give it that type of game and
Yeah.
show people what it is. And not even that, but also to just have those conversations where it's like I'm learning something, but I also get to show what I know as well too.
Of course, yeah.
You know, I appreciate you that for a fact, definitely.
Likewise, brother.
Yeah, you know, I just want people to understand. Like, so what would you really say is the importance of being financially literate? Outside of just the I guess you say cliche or common sense aspect of it.
Everything in life revolves around money.
Mm-hmm.
From the school your children goes to, from the food that you eat, the clothes that's put in your back, everything has money tied to it. And for whatever reason, in the black community, and in general, but really in the black community, finances aren't spoken about enough.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When I have these conversations with people who live like me, who are in positions that I have been in, and I am currently in myself, you know, my biggest thing is, where is our mindset at?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you can't be somebody who wants better for yourself, but to stay in, but you want to keep doing the same thing. It's insane. It's literally insane. Right? So I'm sorry. Am I answering your question? I don't feel like I am. I'm sorry about that.
No, I mean, yeah, I feel so. Because my question is more so just like, why do you feel like it's important? I feel like you're
because why isn't it important?
Right.
Right? Like we live in a capitalist society. We live in a society to where people, we can't do anything without it.
Do you feel like it's the approach? Because I feel like, as I was just thinking about it just now, I feel like for some people, we kind of look at it like when our parents tell us why certain things are important, right? Like why they in our ear telling us all this stuff. Because at a young age, we don't care to hear certain
Right,
things,
of course.
You know, but it's like we understand as we grow up later why it was important to tell them, right? So it's like, for example, don't touch the stove if it's hot.
Of course.
What do we do? We still touch it. And then, of course, the reaction is what's going to teach us
hand.
that we shouldn't do that.
Exactly.
So it's like, but that's the thing. We don't want to listen.
Right.
So financial literacy, it's like, hey, don't invest into this if it's not going to bring you money.
I think
you should invest into this because it should bring you money. What do? We do the opposite. And then reaction. Now we're like, damn, wish we knew.
I think a lot of things have to do with it. I think that the financial journey is a spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of spirit. It's a lot of shadow work that comes into attracting money, right? Because it's all energy.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to really work on yourself and work on what you want to do and move at your pace.
Right.
You know, and be graceful for yourself in order to see certain results. But on the contrary, I would say it's a crabs in a barrel mentality. And when I say that, I don't mean to say crabs in a barrel, oh, that's where the black community is. But in a certain aspect, because, you know, naturally when crabs are in a barrel, if the water and the temperature is right, they will not pull the other crab down. It is when the water, it is when the water heats up and it is hot. And the crabs know that they're going to boil to death, that they start pulling each other down. That is the science behind it. And it's nothing more, it's not the crab, it's the environment.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is our environment. You see what I'm saying? So it's not that we don't want to do better. It's not that people don't want to do better. People don't know how to do better. People get intimidated when somebody starts to step out. And it's nothing more than just somebody just having to deal with whatever trauma they've gone through. Nothing more than like us coming together and like wanting to genuinely see each other. When I found out you were doing a podcast, I immediately wanted to come on your podcast, not for anything more than to spread my awareness for my business and then to do the same thing for you. Because people who watch me will follow you, and I believe vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And one hand washes the other. And I think that's what we're missing, right? When I look at other communities, when I look at other families and what are they doing, bro, they're all together, bro. Like, I'm not even joking with you.
And not to cut you off, that's why I take pride in to like, just at least for myself personally, I can't speak for everybody, but it's just like, I take pride in the statement of knowledge is power. Because for me, it's like, I went to a good school in New York City. I went to Xavier High School.
That's a good school.
And it's a mixed school.
Okay.
I don't know if you personally know about, but you know, for the audience,
if
you guys know, some of my guests, we came from Xavier. But you know, it's a mixed school. I get it. All the guests that I bought from Xavier are all black, but it's a mixed school nonetheless. But you know, it's a college preparatory school. So, you know, academically, they do very well.
That's what's up.
And then, you know, just me going to college in general, it didn't even matter what school I went to. I went to the University of Scranton, good school as well. But just the fact that I went to college in general, people were like, okay, he's an educated guy, he's this, he's that. But this generation is kind of like we try to knock people for that, right? Like I said, the colleges scam people.
Yeah.
You got those people out there. We got the colleges isn't for everybody people. We got those people out there. We got the
investing isn't it for everybody people. And
that too.
That is perplexing to me because I'm like, brother, sister, hold on a second. Your dollar is growing at a rate of like -0.01%
Because what they always say, today's dollar is what?
Is I don't know. What
today's dollar is always gonna be more expensive than tomorrow's.
Bro, did you see that in 2020
the value's
been decreased 25%? And listen, you don't have maybe you don't want to invest in the stock market. Maybe that's too much risk for you. Invest into yourself. I don't know if you see where America's going. I don't think it's going to be a way to where our grandparents live, to where our parents live, to where it's going to be, you're going to work a certain job until age 65, 70, and then you'll be able to retire with pension and benefits and Social Security. I do not think that's going to be the way. I think it's going to be a lot of what we're doing now, being entrepreneurs, being self-sufficient, because artificial intelligence is going to take a lot of jobs. Not only that,
we already see it just in the fast food industry, right? We
do.
We have the kiosks now. People don't even order like at the register.
Did you see Nvidia is introducing nurses, artificial intelligence nurses for $9 an hour? This is something that they're working on. This is insane, but people are going to school for the next X amount of years, getting themselves in debt for that.
But it's like, what if there's some, like, let's just say, like, for example, COVID is quote unquote something new, right?
Right.
What if there's illnesses that are like that, where it's like those AIs can't diagnose what you have?
The human aspect will always be there. I agree with you. However, a lot of people will be swept under the rug, and then specialists, I believe personally, will have the upper hand. But if you're not a specialist and you're a generalist in whatever field you're in, you're gonna have a hard time competing with a computer that can run off of a fraction of what you make and can process information faster than you ever can. Right? So if you're not gonna utilize it to benefit you, you better find a way to like outsource and start something of your own. Maybe it's your own, maybe you're a doctor, maybe you start your own practice, right? Maybe you're a teacher, you start your own school. Whatever it is, you take that risk. And you have to take the risk though, because if you don't take the risk, personally, I believe, again, talk to you, whomever you go to for financial advice, it will eventually, a lot of people will be swept under the rug.
And going back to my point, this is why I feel like it's important to embrace those things. I get it, you know, negativity sells. Everybody wants to be in the streets. Everybody wants to be this, they want to be that. But it's just like, for me personally, I take pride in what I've done. Like, even though I've like made a lot of mistakes in my life, I take pride in what I've done. And I've take pride in definitely my education, because people will say all this stuff. Oh, you know, this person is soft. Oh, this person was a basketball player. Oh, this person was a school guy, like whatever. But it's like the value that came with that, I'll take that any day, bro.
You know what I want to say? And I agree with you. Those people who are saying those things, because
they're always behind, bro.
They're always behind. I look at, thank you for taking the words out of my mouth. So when I was doing real estate, I wanted to do some type of marketing campaign. Share my post, do X, Y, and Z. I'll send you something off because of it. But it was laughing at me. People were like literally laughing at me and like, oh, that's terrible. You paying people to do X, Y, and Z. First off, I'm making an investment. Two, it's 2024. This was in 2018. No shade. Y'all are still doing the same things you were doing 6 years ago. I have nothing to talk about with y'all. Respectfully. If you want to level up your life, I'd help you level up your life. But if not, like, go do your thing. Go be who you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't knock me for trying to like venture out. But again, that's that crabs in the barrel mentality. It's not.
They don't want to see you.
It's not the crab. It's the environment that they feel intimidated because I'm trying to do my thing.
Think about what do we always say, right? We say the simplest things are not our type of thing, right? In the black community, right? People go on vacation, they go ziplining. Oh, that's how white people shit. What does that even mean, bro?
Literally, bro.
What does that mean, bro? Because when you actually try it, that's the thing.
That shit is mad fun.
It's mad fun. Now all of a sudden, I want to go zipline everywhere.
That's a fact,
but 10 seconds ago, you was just saying, nah, I ain't doing that.
Bro, I get people who look like me, who look like you, bro.
Even
why you talk like that, bro? What do you mean how I talk like that? How I pronounce my words? How I express myself?
How people dress?
How people dress? Like, what are you talking about?
We're from New York City. Fashion is gonna be
all over the place, and it should be.
You're gonna see people do all types of stuff. Fashion should be
an expression of who you are,
non-questionable. Like, let people wear what they want to wear. Let them do what they want to do.
Absolutely. It don't bother you, Pop.
Think about it, bro. We grew up in an age where it's like everybody, like, especially you West Indian, you know, everybody's kind of, hate to say it, but like homophobic, right? I know it's one of them words on YouTube that I'll probably get. They probably get shadow banned this episode for it, but whatever. It's like, you know, people grow up in that environment, that culture, But then in the same sense, though, it's just like, think about all the people that used to sing and dance. What we used to do, we used to bash them. Oh, that's
a fact, bro.
this,
And
that's
they
that.
artists.
Now, what do everybody want? They want to sing on their hook for their
That's
mixtape.
a fact.
They want the dancers
That's
to
a
dance to their stuff on TikTok.
That's a fact. You got to be
So
yourself.
look at it, you know?
You got to be yourself.
Got to be yourself
You gotta
always.
be
Because
yourself.
even though people knocking it today, tomorrow they're going to be like, you know what? I was wrong for that.
Bro, and people are always going to knock you for whatever you do. Yo, I kid you not, bro. I was in 7th grade. I wore a pair of Adidas to school. I got made fun of for wearing Adidas to school. 5, 6 years later, everyone's wearing Adidas.
Yeezys.
Yeah,
Pharrell,
bro,
the human
it's
races.
mind-boggling, bro.
Like, Adidas always. That's the thing,
Mind-boggling.
too. Just think about it. Soccer fans, all their jerseys.
Literally,
Adidas.
bro. Like, people are going to judge you
NBA
regardless.
at one point was Adidas.
Exactly, bro. 100%. People going to judge you regardless. Do what you want to do. Do what makes you feel comfortable. Same thing with investing. Do what you want to do. Do what makes you feel comfortable. If you want to start a business, go start the business. I do want to say one thing, too. Bro, sis, I'm really speaking to the men, right? Because, like, listen, I believe the ladies,
in that bag one
y'all should be
time.
living your soft life for sure.
You should.
But for the
They
dudes,
should.
if you are behind in life, get a second job, pop. If you could live off of one income, take the second income and then just invest everything. Either put it into a high yield savings
I wouldn't say
account.
that's a job, though.
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like that's just you know, it's just like another.
Nah,
I
you
understand
need
what
to
you're
be-
getting with. I
yeah,
know
yeah,
what
yeah.
you're saying, but it's just like some people could take that literal in the sense of he means literally go to one job 9 to 5 and then 5 to.
No, I do mean it literal, bro. I do 100% mean it literal. Like, if you feel like you want to make more money in life, instead of trying to invest, and then yes, do your thing with trying to invest. Get a second job, work the second job 20, 30 hours a week. Bro, I'm bartending after this interview. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I make my money as a financial advisor. I'm still growing my practice, but I live off of my bartending income.
But if I could simplify that, I say do something that you love. For
Nah, it depends, bro.
It is. But you know
depends.
why I say that? Because we're in an age where literally people are literally making it off the simplest
Yes,
things. And you
but
wouldn't
a lot
think
of
about
people are making it, but you have to have that base. I'm not saying you do it for 20 years. I'm saying you do it for 6 months to a year, Pop. So hear me out. Bro, like literally, if you can make, the minimum wage in New York is $16 an hour. I'm gonna do the math right now. And like, even if it's like $300 a week, find something else. If you want to start a side hustle, if you want to start
That's
a
what I'm saying.
podcast, if you want to start anything, find another way to make the money. Be disciplined, be consistent. Get that second job if you need that second job. Yo, that all has to go one place though. It cannot be, oh, I'm gonna increase my spending. Bro, if you were living off of X amount of money a week, go wait some tables, go bust some tables, go clean some tables, go be a janitor, do what I don't know, working like whatever the heck. Don't put your pride aside, make some money to invest into what you want to do. It
That's
don't
a
have to be for 20 years. It could be for 6 months. It could be for a year. If you don't have kids, if you're living with your parents still, whatever it is, if you have this advantage, make more money. I see what you're saying. Yes, do what you love. As a man, bro, we have responsibility. Our responsibility is to provide and protect.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If I want to be a certain way, if I want a certain woman as a dude, and we coming way off topic at this point, right? But a lot of dudes want certain type of women. A lot of dudes want certain type of lifestyles. You got to put the work in, Pop.
You do.
And
Especially with artists, bro.
Bro, especially with artists, right? So like I was listening to Glorilla's interview with Shannon Sharp the other day. She was working jobs, living with her father, but guess what? Every penny was going into the studio.
As it should have.
That's the game right there. You're gonna have to get your hands dirty. You're gonna have to scrape your knee.
But the reason I say do what you love is because one, it makes it easier, but two, you never know what else it brings about. For example, right? I have my own personal camera. I'm not a photographer. Like,
Right.
I mean, I'm working towards it.
Right.
But you know, I liked it. 'Cause I like the idea of being a photographer because it's like, for me personally, sometimes I see those moments. Like I be telling people that sometimes. Like I'll be like, yo, stand still. Let me take a picture of you real quick. Because I just see the vision. I have a vision for it. I have an eye for it. To the point that it's like this camera could translate to a lot of things. Like become a photographer. You know, if I wanted to, I could start like my own studio.
Nah, facts.
Ross not gonna let me do that though. Ross gonna say, you stay here. But you know what I mean? Like,
Facts.
there's so many different ways that I could stem out one thing to stem into like different streams of income for me. That's something I feel like I done preached on a good amount of episodes on this podcast.
That's a fact. That's a
just
fact.
doing like, you know, if you have like, for example, if you have the studio, Ross has a studio. We're podcasting here, but artists is coming here. They're coming here. They're going to the booth right after, right?
Fire.
And then, you know, like he could do like content, you know, photography, shoots in here. Like there's so many things he could do.
So many things you could do.
Even if he wants to give the event space out, like this space out as an event space,
You could do
somebody
that.
does this as a B&B for like
That's
a
a
networking
fact.
event or something like that. You can do that. So it's like, I think the same thing with me. It's like, yes, you have your 9 to 5. Some people are entrepreneurs, but also too, if you have your side hustles, 9 times out of 10, your side hustle could be something that you're interested in anyways.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But it's like, look at how those side hustles could become all these different. Think of it like an umbrella, like you know, or a tree, just all these branches.
And I agree with you 100%. I do want to say focus on one thing first.
No,
don't go into trading, bro. I want to be a trader, but at the same time, I want to be a real estate investor. But at the same time, I want to do this and that. I'm saying that from experience. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can go back to tell my 21-year-old, 22-year-old self something, what would it be? Yo, focus on one thing, Pop. Everything else will take care of itself. Master one thing, and then let that provide for everything else.
Yeah,
so if you all listen to this, and there's a bunch of things that you want to do, you got to master one thing first and put all your energy into that.
Look at Kimani, right?
Look at who?
Kimani.
Who's Kimani? Prince. Oh, see,
I was like, even when he was saying that road connection, where he said I have like, what he said, like 6, like he said he had a bunch of ATMs.
He had to focus on one first, and I was trading.
But it's like it came from trading. Now he's doing real estate. He has the ATM business.
And that's it.
I'm like, damn, bro, like that's real.
You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a bunch of things you could do, but like focus on that one thing for sure. Once you focus on that one thing, yo, bro, you don't gotta give it a lot of time, son. Like that's the cool thing about where we are right now in life. Like you could take 6 months to a year, learn a skill, and be profitable for the skill, depending on how much work you put in, depending on how disciplined you are, depending on who's teaching you as well, right? Investing in mentorships, investing in yourself. I don't want to pay $200. I don't want to pay $1,000 for that mentorship. All right, so figure it out yourself, and you have to understand you're going to be paying the money anyways, whether in failed opportunities and missed opportunities, failed appearances. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna pay the money anyways. You might as well pay it up front.
Right, but hold up, you gotta focus there because I definitely got it.
I gotta run to the restroom too. Yo, after we go to the restroom, we can wrap it up. All right, cool. I gotta go. I've been holding it in. Whew. You got any messages for the people? Oh, snap. While I'm here, like, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, we definitely are still rolling. Listen, if you are somebody who wants to take your finances to the next level, book a conversation with me. No cost at all. This is something that is going to benefit you and your family. I'm not looking to sell you anything. I'm just looking to open your eyes and to help put you on a certain path. Let's see, what else do I want to say? Bro, don't invest if you don't have money tucked aside for a rainy day. It don't gotta be 10K, bro. It could be $1,000. It could be $1,500. It could be $2,000 depending on your circumstances. Obviously, if you have responsibilities, you want to be able to cover those responsibilities. Don't quit your 9 to 5 to pursue your job full time. Use your 9 to 5 to fund your job. This is something that I've had to learn the hard way. And this is something that I'm currently doing. I do want a financial planning practice, and I do bartend. So bartending helps me keep my head above water. Bartending helps me do what I want to do throughout the day. I'm able to focus on my business the way I want to focus on my business for sure. Is that Breezy? Yeah, facts. I'll be back. Hey guys, so before we wrap everything up, I want to say thank you to Breeze, thank you to Ross for allowing me the opportunity to give a little bit of game, but really just have a conversation about things. I hope that I said something that made you and inspired you to take a deeper look into your current financial situation. Listen, if you have goals, you can't just plan your goals, right? You have to attack your goals, right? And that's the biggest difference between everybody who does what they want to do and doesn't do what they want to do. If you are listening to this and you would like to schedule a consultation, please reach out to me on Instagram, billionaireboone. That's billionaire, the way it's usually spelled, BOONE. I host free consultations. You never have to pay me for anything. I get compensated if you choose to make an investment, but the investment you will make will solely be up to your discretion, and I will tell you whether or not it's a right fit for you, and you make that choice yourself. Also, if you are an entrepreneur, you are a budding entrepreneur, you want to get on this podcast. If you don't, you're slacking. Breeze has a wonderful, wonderful set going on here. Ross is an excellent producer, and you are missing out on a ton of value if you're not looking to make that investment. The biggest investment you can make is in yourself. The biggest return you will ever get is investing into yourself. Forget about the stock market, forget about everything else, and invest into yourself. You will yield whatever returns you may choose. What is for you won't pass you. Ashe.
Yeah. And this one's off right now, Rose? Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, too, you never know, man. You put in that what's cooking reference.
That's it.
Maybe Boone got a little something
That's
for
it.
you.
That's
You
it.
know?
I always got something for you. You just got to make that step yourself. I can lead the horse to the water. I can't make him drink it.
That's a fact.
Worst case scenario, I help you out with a budget and I give you a game plan on what you need to do. We never speak again. We'll bid our time as friends. Best case scenario, I'm able to help you change your life. Tap in.
Yeah, just like that. As always, show love to our guests. Tap with Billionaire Boone for all your financial needs. You know, if you're new to our platform, you know, tap into all of our other episodes. You might find some content that you're interested in, not just this topic, but other topics as well. And then, of course, subscribe. You know, share it to share it to your friends if you have any friends that you feel could benefit off of this, or even this platform too. Like Boone said, if you want to be on this platform, you know, definitely reach out to us. Or if you have somebody in mind, reach out to us with those people in mind. And just like that, as always, show love, and we out.
We out.